Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I am Joey Francis, your life, love, and relationship coach. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy New Year. This is big. You know, we made it into 2026. And since this is the first episode of the new year, I wanted to open this one up with something that might sting a little. Not because I'm trying to hurt anyone, never that, but because sometimes we need a wake-up call, a hard reset, a recalibration of the energy we're bringing in to the dating world. This year, I want people, you, me, all of us, to date differently, to date better, to date more honestly, to date in a way that actually leads somewhere instead of playing the same exhausting games over and over. Because the truth is this, people today are too entitled when it comes to dating. And I'm going to talk about both sides of it because nobody gets a free pass here. And if you felt your chest tighten the second I said entitled, good. Sit with that. This episode is for you. Now, I want to start off with the men. Men, listen closely because some of you aren't going to like what I'm about to say, but you might need to hear it the most. Too many men today approach dating with the mindset of entitlement, not confidence, not self-respect, entitlement. And entitlement sounds like this. If I pay for dinner, she should reward me. If I'm nice, she owes me attention. If I show interest, then she should be giving me a chance. If I put in effort, I deserve something physical in return. No, you don't. You don't deserve anything. Just because you showed up and spent a couple $100 on a dinner doesn't mean anything. Showing up is not a heroic act. It's the bare minimum. And here's where we need to take it a step deeper because this isn't just entitlement. For a bunch of you, this is narcissism in disguise. Now I'm going to explain. There's this type of man who believes he's a good guy simply because he isn't overly aggressive or disrespectful. But underneath that good guy, he's keeping score. He's tallying, he's calculating, he's watching and waiting. He's not genuinely generous. He's transactional. He gives with the expectation of getting something back. This I paid so she owes me mindset isn't confidence, it's entitlement. It's cheap, it's transactional. And honestly, it exposes a shallow level of character. Because listen, if the only thing you know how to lead with is your wallet, don't be surprised when you attract women who only show up for what's in it. Too many men confuse effort with payment. Buying something is not effort. Paying for something is not effort. Effort is emotional investment. Presence, attention, consistency, curiosity, loyalty. A lot of guys throw money at a date because they really don't know how to offer anything else. And when he doesn't get what he feels he earned, the switch flips. Suddenly he's cold. Suddenly he's distant. Suddenly he's passive aggressive. Suddenly he's insulting you under the guise of a joke. And suddenly you are wasting his time. This is also classic narcissistic behavior because a true narcissist doesn't always explode in anger. Sometimes they crumble into victimhood. After everything I did, you're rejecting me? Wow. I guess being a nice guy doesn't matter. This is why I don't put in effort for women. That is not a good man. That is not a grown man. That is a manipulative man. And it stems from one thing. He believes women exist to validate him, to fill the gap in his self-esteem, to reward him for basic behavior, to soothe his bruised ego. This is why so many women feel unsafe emotionally, not because a man is aggressive, but because he's unpredictable. She never knows which version of him she's getting, the charming one or the resentful one. the nice guy or the narcissist underneath. And here's what men need to understand. Women can feel this energy. They sense that something is off. They pick up on this pressure. They pick up on the transactional vibe. They pick up on the invisible expectation, and it kills attraction faster than anything else. Because women do not want to feel like they're stepping into a contract. They want to feel like they're stepping into a connection. Men, if you want women to trust you, to respect you, to be open with you, to feel safe with you, there's something you need to hear. A date is not a down payment. Your wallet is not a personality. And generosity is only genuine when you expect nothing in return. A man who leads with entitlement is dangerous. A man who leads with narcissism is unpredictable. But a man who leads with character, a man who leads with self-awareness, a man who leads with authenticity, that's the man women want. And the man has a meaningful relationship. So men, stop dating women looking for a return on investment. You're not buying crypto, you're meeting a human being. And if the only value you can offer is financial, you're not ready to date. You're not healed, and you're compensating. Eventually, the right woman is going to see right through you. And that's going to be it for you. The only girls that you're going to attract, the only girls that are going to put up with you are the ones looking for the transactional relationship, the ones that are looking for the entrance into your wallet. Now, women, your turn. And just like the men, I'm not sugarcoating anything here because this mindset is hurting dating just as much, if not more. A lot of women today walk into dating with a level of entitlement that has absolutely nothing to do with connection and everything to do with what they think they deserve simply for showing up. Let's be brutally honest. You are not owed an expensive dinner because you're attractive. You are not owed gifts because you matched with a guy. You were not owed a lifestyle because you agreed to meet someone. Your presence alone is not a form of currency. And expecting a man to spend heavily on you before he even knows your middle name, it's not high standards. It's entitlement, plain and simple. Too many women have turned dating into a performance. If he's serious, he'll take me somewhere fancy. If he really wants me, he'll spend money. If it's not a dinner date, I'm not going. Coffee is disrespectful. Well, guess what? No, it's not disrespectful. What's disrespectful is expecting a stranger to financially invest in you before you've emotionally invested in the conversation. If you refuse coffee dates because you're worth more, you're not actually saying you're valuable. What you're actually saying is, I need a man to prove value to me. That is insecurity. That's entitlement. That's unhealthy. Because here's what happened when you make money the measuring stick. You choose the wrong man. The kind of men who lead with money to compensate for everything they lack. And those are the same men who later say things like, I bought you this, I paid for that, I've invested so much, so don't question what I do. You can't demand for a man who leads with his wallet and then act shocked when he treats you like a receipt he owns. That's the part nobody likes to talk about. When you set the tone that money equals access, you're also setting the tone that money equals control. And let's be honest, women who demand expensive dates, they don't want a relationship. They want to be entertained. They want the experience. They want the lifestyle. They want the status. And here's the painful truth. You cannot build a serious long-term relationship on the foundation of what a man buys you. You build on the foundation of who he is. I'm going to say that again. Your relationship is only as stable as the character of the man you choose, not the cost of the date he pays for. A man spending $500 on a dinner doesn't mean he's emotionally available. A man taking you to a luxury restaurant doesn't mean he's a good partner. A man showering you with gifts doesn't mean he's loyal. Some of the worst men are the most generous in the beginning because they're not giving from the heart, they're buying your compliance. And women need to take accountability here. If you lead with demands, you will choose men who love to manipulate through supply. If you want a man to value you, you have to show up with value, not a price tag. A coffee or a drink date isn't low effort, it's respectful, it's intentional, it's safe, and most importantly, it's efficient. Your worth is not determined by the price of the date, the restaurant he chooses, or how much he spends on you. But a lot of women have been conditioned to believe exactly that, especially with social media, where there's so many dating influencers out there saying things like, if it's not an expensive dinner, don't bother because you're worth more. If he takes me somewhere fancy, I must be valuable. If he spends money, I must be worth it. If the date is expensive, he must be serious. No. A high-priced meal does not reflect your value as a woman. There's nothing wrong with enjoying luxury, but if luxury is your requirement, then understand this. You are going to keep choosing men who don't love you. They're just trying to buy you. And when the money slows down, or you can't handle being disrespected or being treated like a possession, and the relationship ends, it's because it was never a relationship to begin with. I'm going to tell you a quick little story, because I've come across women exactly like this. And in fact, women in relationships with these types of men, to the point that they live together. And in one case, a woman, was given an allowance, and she was only allowed so much gas per week because he didn't want her gallivanting around. He watched the kilometers on her car. He essentially was, I don't even know how to like so jealous and so possessive that he just wanted to make sure that she was always there for him. And because he was paying the bills, she didn't work. His house, his life, his rules. And she had to take it. And she would complain about it, saying, I wish I could do more. I wish I could go out with my friends more often, etc., etc. But no, she couldn't. Every time she asked, he'd be like, excuse me, what are you talking about? If you don't like it, you can leave. And then she ended up staying because that relationship was literally built upon that financial exchange, that transaction. Here's the truth people need to swallow. Not sip, not nibble, not reinterpret. Swallow. Dating was never meant to be a transaction. It became one because people turned it into one. Men started acting like intimacy is something they can purchase. Women started acting like attention is something they can charge for. Both sides turned dating into an economy. And then they wondered why nothing feels real anymore. Let's strip it all the way down. A relationship built on resources dies the second the resources run out. A relationship built on energy grows even in the dark. Real dating isn't I paid so I get access. I'm beautiful so I deserve treatment. I invested money so I need a return. I invested time so I need a commitment. That's not dating, that's negotiating. People think they're dating for love when they're actually bartering for outcomes. But here's the truth. Dating is supposed to be two people exchanging the one thing that can't be faked, borrowed, or bought. Their energy. Your presence, your attention, your curiosity, your willingness to engage, your willingness to listen, your willingness to understand without expecting something in return. That is the real currency. You can't buy someone dinner. You can't buy someone's soul. You can't buy connection. You can't buy safety, trust, loyalty, or chemistry. Money doesn't create alignment. Entitlement doesn't create desire. Energy does. And here's where people need to wake up. You can be the most attractive person in the room, but if your energy is entitled, demanding, or transactional, people feel that before they even see your beauty. You can be the wealthiest guy in the room, but if your energy is performative, manipulative, or scorekeeping, people feel that before they ever see your generosity. You know what? Let me rephrase that. Good people can see these things, not the transactional people, because those two essentially belong together and they will live unhappily ever after. They will never be happy. Energy exposes you before your words do. And that's why dating today feels so exhausting, because too many people are showing up expecting something instead of showing up bringing something. Let me say that again because it matters. The people failing in dating are the ones showing up expecting something, not the ones showing up bringing something. If your mindset is, what are you giving me? What are you paying for? What are you offering? What do I get for my time? You're already doing this wrong. Because the real truth is this: healthy dating is an exchange of energies, not an exchange of resources. Energy is the thing that tells you, I can build with this person. I feel safe around this person. I'm seen here. I'm understood here. I'm respected here. I want to invest more. Money can tell you that. Looks can't tell you that. Entitlement definitely can't tell you that. Connection comes from energy. Compatibility comes from energy. Longevity comes from energy. And that's why this message needs to hit home as we enter a new year. If you want better results, you must show up with better energy. If you want the right person, bring the right energy. If you want something real, lead with something real, because real dating only works when both people show up with the intention to connect, not the expectation to take. See, here's the thing. Some pretty like well-known online dating influencers have said, like, what's the best piece of advice that you can give someone? And they will say, figure out all the things you want and then become that person. As in, instead of trying to require, it's showing up. And I know that I say a lot, know the things that you want, know the things that you're looking for, know the things that you don't want, know how you want to be treated. But even if you know all those things, you still have to show up. You still have to be just as kind and thoughtful and listen and respectful. You can't just demand that someone do it while you be a piece of shit. See, people online, this is talking about coffee dates. Because I know so many people hate them. And again, people online have twisted the meaning of a coffee date so badly that half the dating world now thinks it's some form of disrespect. Let me clear this up with absolute precision. A coffee date is not cheap. A coffee date is not low effort. A coffee date is not disrespectful. A coffee date is intentional. It's efficient. It's smart. It's honest. A coffee date says, I value my time. I value your time. And I'm not here to waste either one of ours with a performance, because that's what dinner has become, a performance. People aren't going to dinner dates to connect. They're going to be entertained, to be catered to prove something, to flex, to evaluate each other like products instead of people. See, a coffee date strips all of that away. It removes the ambiance, the alcohol, the dim lights, the distraction, the bill, the show. It removes the inflated expectations. It removes the forced intimacy. And all that's left is the truth. Just you, your presence, your energy, your personality, your ability to hold a conversation, your actual vibe, not your curated presentation. And that's why so many people hate coffee dates, because a coffee date exposes what dinner can hide. When you're sitting across from someone with nothing but a cup in front of you, there is no room for games. No room for the treat me like royalty act. No room for the let me impress them with my wallet routine. No room for the ego. No room for entitlement. Just two human beings face to face figuring out one simple thing. Is there something here worth exploring? And here's the part that hits the hardest. A coffee date isn't about money. It's about access. It asks the question people are too insecure to say out loud. Are you worth more than 5 minutes of my time? And not in a rude way, not in a dismissive way, but in a realistic way. Because, within the first 5 minutes, you'll know if there's a spark. You'll know if the conversation flows. You'll know if the energy matches. A coffee date respects that truth. A dinner date ignores it. It traps two people in a 2-hour performance because of a bill someone thinks they now deserve something from. Let me break it down even further. A coffee date isn't about money. It's about honesty. It's about let's be real, let's start real, let's see real. And if there's something here, then we can build from there. Because the truth is simple. If someone can't show up authentically for 20 minutes, why would you invest hours or months or years? A coffee date is where genuine dating begins. Everything else is just a show. And when I say coffee date, it doesn't necessarily have to be a coffee date. It could be going for a drink as well. It could be going for a walk. I'm just using coffee date as the label for all of those things. Now, when you're leading with the wrong things, it gets you the wrong people. No fluff, no mercy, pure truth. Here's a reality check that needs to hit people right between the eyes. You attract who you appeal to, but you keep who you align with. And the reason so many people keep ending up with the wrong partners, it's simple. They're leading with the wrong things. Let's break it down brutally and honestly. Men who lead with money get women who value money. If your whole dating strategy is flexing your income, showing off your car, flashing bottles, talking about your job, bragging about your accounts, pulling out your wallet like it's your personality, then don't you dare complain when the only women interested in you are there for the lifestyle and not the man. That isn't bad luck. That's cause and effect. A man who leads with money becomes nothing more than a provider, not a partner. And here's the part he doesn't want to admit. When the money slows down, the woman leaves. Not because she's a gold digger, but because she's a gold digger. But because you introduced yourself as a resource, not a human. Now let's flip it. Women who lead with demands get men who think relationships are transactional. If your whole dating identity is, he better spend X, he better take me somewhere nice, I deserve to be spoiled, coffee dates are disrespectful, if he wants me, he has to prove it financially, then the only men you'll get are the ones who buy their way through relationships. And guess what? Men who buy their way feel entitled to everything once they're inside. They think I paid for all of this. You belong to me now, like I mentioned in the story. You attract men who respond to your demands, not men who align with your values. And when that dynamic blows up, when he cheats, manipulates, withdraws, or controls, you sit there confused saying, why do I always attract the same type of guy? You don't. You attract all types of guys. You just only choose the one who matches your entitlement. Now here's the real knife twist. People attract the wrong partner because they show the wrong version of themselves. If you're leading with image, you attract people with status. If you're leading with ego, you attract people who trigger it. If you're leading with insecurity, you attract people who prey on it. If you're leading with desperation, you'll attract people who exploit it. If you're leading with performance, you attract people who require a performance. And if you're leading with entitlement, you attract that entitlement right back. That's why dating feels repetitive for so many people. It's not the universe. It's not modern dating culture. It's not bad luck. It's not bad men. It's not bad women. It's a reflection of the energy you're showing up with. And you get what you present. You get what you lead with. You get what you project, and you get what you prioritize. If you want a partner who's real, grounded, consistent, loyal, deeply invested, and aligned, you have to show up as someone who values those same things. You can't demand authenticity while presenting a performance. You can't demand real love while leading with superficial bait. You can't demand loyalty while offering entitlement. You can't demand depth while leading with aesthetics. Connection is a mirror. It reflects the truth back to you, whether you like that truth or not. If you want better people, you have to become better people. If you want a different type of partner, lead with a different version of yourself, because the simple, hard truth is this: you don't get the love you want, you get the love that matches the energy you bring. And I've said it many, many times. Know the things you want. Know how you want to be treated. Know what you're ready for. But you also have to show up like that too. In modern dating, there are only 2 types of intention. Not 5, not 12, just 2. And the one you operate from determines everything. Who you attract, how people treat you, what you tolerate, how long things last, how deeply you connect. Now, I'm going to break them down with 0 softness. Number 1, pure intention. The rare one. The one that actually builds relationships. The one healthy people operate from. Pure intention sounds like this: I'm here to learn you. I'm here to understand you. I'm here to see if our lives align. I'm here to bring good energy, not take it. I'm here to explore, not extract. Pure intention asks the real questions. It listens, pays attention, doesn't rush the process, doesn't force outcomes, doesn't play games, doesn't calculate, doesn't negotiate affection. Pure intention is not about perfection, it's about presence. It doesn't audition, it doesn't perform, it doesn't inflate, it doesn't manipulate. It's clean, grounded energy. It's let me meet you where you are, not let me see what you can give me. Pure intention creates clarity. Pure intention builds trust. Pure intention grows connection. Pure intention leads to real love. Option 2. Performative intention. This is what most people use today, and this is why dating feels like a circus. Performative intention sounds like this: let me impress you. Let me win you. Let me dazzle you. Let me extract from you. What can I get out of this? This is the intention people bring when they're trying to get something: attention, sex, validation, gifts, status, entertainment, ego boosts, emotional comfort, financial benefit. Performance intention, it's curated, it's calculated, it's manipulative. It's exhausting. It's transactional. Performative intention doesn't show you who you are. It shows you who you think will get the best reaction. It's not connection. It's strategy. It's not dating. It's auditioning. It's not love. It's leverage. And here's the brutal truth most people don't want to face. You cannot build something real on fake energy. You can't build stability from performance. You can't build intimacy with a mask on. You can't build loyalty when your intention is rooted in extraction. Performative intention always leads to the same outcome: burnout, confusion, mixed signals, disappointment, emotional whiplash, short-term highs, long-term emptiness. You know why? Because if somebody falls for your performance, they didn't fall for you. They fell for the show. They fell for the costume. They fell for the version of you that was created or curated for approval. And eventually, the performance ends. Eventually, the mask slips. Eventually, the real you comes out and the alignment disappears. The hard truth: if you want something real, you have to stop dating like you're on a stage. Pure intention doesn't mean giving everything. It means showing up honestly. Performative intention gives just enough to get what it wants, not enough to build anything meaningful. Pure intention asks, can we create something together? Performative intention asks, what can I get out of you right now? And the energy you lead with determines which one you invite into your life. If you want real connection, you need to bring real connection. If you want someone who chooses you for you, you need to show up as you. Drop the shadow, drop the scripts, drop the ego, drop the curated dating persona, because the people who date with pure intention always win in the long run. Not because they're perfect, but because they're real, they're honest, they're genuine. We're dating for the future, not for the moment. Here's where most people completely derail their dating life. They date for the moment instead of the future. They date for the dopamine, the excitement, the attention, the aesthetics, the ego boost, the story that they can call their friends, or the story they can tell their friends. The vibe, not the value. The feeling, not the foundation. And then they wonder why nothing lasts. Let me make something painfully clear. If you date for instant gratification, you will always end up with short-term connections. Always. Because short-term habits attract short-term people. People who date for the moment choose the fun option, the flashy option, the entertaining option, the easy option, the physically attractive option, the emotionally unavailable option, the attention-giving but effort-lacking option. They choose people who make the moment exciting, not the future secure. And then, when it falls apart, they blame the other person. But the truth is simple. You build something temporary with temporary materials. You can't build forever with someone that only shows up for right now. And I know there's so many of you out there that resonate with what I just said. I've heard it. I've heard it from people talking to me, people coming to me for advice. See, now let's flip this. Dating for the future looks completely different. It's intentional, it's grounded, it's thoughtful, it's consistent, it's calm, it's steady, it's slow where it needs to be, and honest where it needs to be. Dating for the future asks real questions. Does this person align with my values? Can they communicate? Do they show consistency, or is it just excitement? Do our lifestyles fit? Do they soothe my nervous system or aggravate it? Are they building with me or just visiting my life? Dating for the future watches their actions, not just their words, their gifts, or their effort in the moment. Dating for the future cares about character, integrity, emotional maturity, conflict resolution, life goals, stability, long-term compatibility, and not just chemistry, not just vibes, not just butterflies. Butterfly fades. Chemistry settles. Aesthetic gets old. Excitement becomes normal, but values last. Maturity lasts. Character lasts. Accountability lasts. Kindness lasts. And here's the hardest truth people avoid. If you don't date with the future in mind, you end up settling for people who are never meant to stay. Because the people who are great for the moment rarely are the people who are great for your future. The man who excites you instantly might be the same man who drains you eventually. The woman who makes your ego feel good might be the same woman who makes your life feel unstable. The person who rushes everything, pay attention now, might be the same person who disappears just as fast. People who date for the moment are addicted to the spark. People who date for the future are invested in the flame. And here's what people forget. Dating isn't about who makes you feel good today. It's about who will stand beside you tomorrow. It's about who you can build a home with, a life with, a family with, a partnership, a future, a safe place to land, someone to grow old with, someone who shows up on your worst days, not just on your best ones. Nobody builds anything meaningful by accident. You build it by choosing people who actually want to build with you. So let me make this very clear. If you want something long-term, you need to stop choosing short-term people. If you want something stable, you need to stop choosing chaos. If you want something real, you need to stop choosing entertainment. If you want love, you have to stop choosing ego. Date with intention. Date for alignment. Date for the future you want, not the moment you're craving. Because if you want something real, you must be real. Everyone says they want something real. You go online, you can see it in their profiles, you talk to someone, like, what are you hoping to find here? What are you hoping to get? What are you hoping to achieve? Real love, real commitment, real stability, real connection, real partnership, real consistency, real loyalty, real effort. But very few people are actually showing up in a way that deserves any of that. Let's cut the fluff. You cannot expect real if you show up fake. You can't demand honesty while you're the one that's hiding. You can't demand vulnerability while being guarded. You can't demand consistency while being inconsistent. You can't demand loyalty while keeping your options open. And that's a big one. So many people, mainly women, but people say they want loyalty. Actually, a lot of men say they really want loyalty too. But at the same time, they have a roster. They're thinking about, all these other people. They're talking to 5, 10, 15, 20 people at once. How? How can you ask for loyalty when you're not even being loyal to the process? You can't demand emotional maturity while acting reactive, defensive, or entitled. You don't get a deep relationship while presenting a shallow version of yourself. You want something pure? Then stop showing up with polluted energy. You want something stable? Then stop showing up with chaos. You want someone grounded? Then stop showing up with insecurity disguised as confidence. You want something intentional? Then stop showing up with ego-driven behavior. It's that simple and that uncomfortable. Dating exposes the version of you that you're trying the hardest to hide. Your patterns show, your entitlement shows, your fears show, your insecurities show, your avoidance show, your need for validation shows, your lack of clarity shows, your inconsistency shows, and people see it, even if they don't say it. And the hardest truth? The universe mirrors you back to yourself. And here's another truth people love to avoid. You can't hide behind, I just have bad luck. No. You have patterns. Patterns you repeat, patterns you justify, patterns you pretend you don't see, patterns that sabotage every good connection that tries to enter your life. People say they want love, but they're searching for entertainment. They're bored. They say they want commitment, but they're acting like spectators. They say they want honesty, but they can't even handle the truth. They say they want depth, but they can only offer surface level versions of themselves. The future you want requires a different version of you, not a different dating pool. Let me put it this way. If you want something real, you have to be brave enough to show up as the real you. Not the curated you, not the at your best you, not the dating version of you, not the defensive you, not the people-pleasing you, not the overly independent you, not the version of you performing or protecting, the real you, the one who communicates, the one who listens, the one who is honest about what they want, the one who can say, this is what I need, and also say, this is what I can give. Real love requires real people. Real connection requires real presence. Real commitment requires real clarity. You can't build something long-term on fake energy. You can't build intimacy with walls up. You can't build trust without honesty. You can't build a future on fear. Show up real, and what you truly want will finally recognize you. So here's how to reset your dating energy this year. Everybody talks about wanting a fresh start in the new year, but very few people actually change anything. I mean, just go to a gym in February. That'll tell you right there. gyms love the new year. So many people say, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to start working out more and doing all the things. And they go in, they buy a membership. And then after a month, they just stop showing up. They stop going. So I'm going to give you the exact blueprint for resetting your dating energy this year. Not vague advice, not fluffy self-help, real, actionable, accountability-based steps. Number 1, stop dating with a sense of owed to me. Let me be very blunt. Nobody owes you anything for showing up. Not attention, not effort, not money, not commitment, not validation, not intimacy. Your presence is not a prize. Your wallet is not a ticket. Your beauty is not a bargaining chip. Your gender does not entitle you to treatment. Drop the entitlement. Drop the expectations. Drop the bare minimum rules. You don't even meet yourself. You deserve what you can sustain. You deserve what you can reciprocate. You deserve what you can give back. Start dating with curiosity, not expectation. Expectations kill connection. Why? Because expectations say this: better go my way. I better get something out of this. This person better impress me, entertain me, or prove themselves to me. Curiosity says, who are you? What drives you? What lights you up? What scares you? What's your story? What's your heart like? Curiosity creates connection. Expectation creates entitlement. If you want to enjoy dating, lead with curiosity. If you want to ruin dating, lead with expectation. That was number 2. Number 3, give more importance to time than money. Here's the truth. Money, it's replaceable. Time? No, time is not. Yet people are still more impressed by a $300, $400, $500 dinner than by 2 hours of genuine conversation. You want to change your dating life? Start valuing the things that actually matter. How present someone is, how consistent they are, how respectful they are, how they make you feel, how they listen, how they treat you outside the fun moments. Time is real investment. Attention is the real currency. Energy is the real effort. Everything else, it's just noise. 4, stop dating for aesthetics and start dating for alignment. Too many people date like they're building an Instagram feed. Do they look good next to me? Does the story sound impressive? Will people envy this connection? You know what? That reminds me of a girl that I knew who came to me for help. And she was with this guy who was like verbally abusing her, not treating her very nice. And I asked her, because who am I to judge? But I asked her, why him? Why him? And her answer, absolutely nuts, was because it makes other women jealous. I'm with him because me being with him makes other women jealous. I don't think it actually made other women jealous. That's something that was going on in her head. She was with this guy because she believed other people envied the connection. That's not dating. That's branding. And branding destroys intimacy. Alignment is where real love lives. Do our values match? Does our lifestyles complement each other? Do we communicate the same way? Are we headed in the same direction? Does this feel like a grounding, not chaotic? Pretty relationships collapse fast. Aligned relationships last. And I'm not saying that aligned relationships can't be pretty, but if you're doing things specifically for other people, how other people view you, how other people see you for social media, it's not real. And you know it's not real. Number 5, if you want better results, bring better energy. You cannot manifest a healthy partner from unhealthy energy. You cannot attract stability from chaos. You cannot attract honesty from deceit. You cannot attract maturity from entitlement. You cannot attract depth from superficiality. People want love without changing for it. They want connection without showing up for it. They want loyalty without offering security. They want effort without reciprocating it. They want commitment without clarity. But no more. If you want better results, you have to show up differently. Better energy attracts better people. Better energy creates better conversation. Better energy builds better connections. So bring better. Be better. And you know, I've said it a million times. Communication and acceptance are the two most important pillars in any relationship. That's the start of being better. And this is my final message to starting the year clean. As you step into this new year, I want you to ask yourself a question that will shape your entire dating life moving forward. Am I showing up to connect, or am I showing up to take? Because the truth is simple. People who show up to connect build love. People who show up to take end up empty. Look back on your dating patterns, not with shame, not with blame, but with honesty, and ask yourself, have I been dating with ego? Have I been dating with expectation? Have I been dating with entitlement? Have I been dating with fear? Have I been dating with performance instead of presence? These patterns don't make you a bad person. They make you a human who needs a reset. And that's exactly what this year can be for you, a reset, a clean slate, a new start, a chance to rewrite the energy you bring into every interaction. Because you cannot build something real with fake energy. You cannot build love with entitlement. You cannot build stability with games. You cannot build connection with demands. You cannot build trust with ego. You can't build intimacy while performing. You can't build commitment while keeping score. You can't build a future while thinking in transactions. Real relationships require real people, people who show up with intention, humility, curiosity, and effort. So here's what I want for you this year. I want you to date with a quiet confidence. I want you to date with clarity instead of fear. I want you to date with curiosity instead of expectation. I want you to date with alignment instead of aesthetics. I want you to date with truth instead of performance. I want you to lead with your heart instead of your ego. Because when you do that, everything changes. The quality of people you see changes. The quality of conversation you have changes. The quality of the connections you build, the quality of love you receive, everything, it changes. You have the opportunity to start the year clean. Start the year intentional. Start the year honest with yourself first. Drop the entitlement. Drop the greed. Drop the games. Drop the performance. Drop the need to take. And I do understand. I do get it. We get dating fatigue. And we stop thinking that, you know what? My person doesn't exist. My person's not out there. So rather, what I'm going to do is just kill time. I'm just going to kill time. I'm just going to use people for whatever I need them for. And that's the thing. You're just wasting your own time by doing it. You're hurting someone. You're hurting yourself. Rather than showing up with real energy and real love. And it will find its way to you. Not instantly, not magically, but naturally. Because you'll finally be aligned with the very thing you've been asking for. This year isn't about forcing love. It's about creating the version of you that love recognizes. I want you to start clean, start grounded, and start real. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, there's so many other things I could say. It took me some time to write this episode. It took me some time to get here. And I wanted to make it special because this is something I feel strongly about, and I see a lot of. Even just like being on social media, and you see like the posts that people make. And it's funny because they'll go on complaining about something, and it's like they're screaming at everyone watching how entitled they feel they are. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, who are you? What are you doing? And what are you trying to achieve? You like going online and complaining that someone didn't take you to, an expensive restaurant, or you're going online and complaining how a woman, just walks out on you, or went out to dinner with you and then decided that it wasn't worth pursuing, and essentially you got nothing out of it, and you're, it's like, you look like an idiot. You all look like idiots because you say that you want something real. You say that you want love, but it's like you're not willing to put the work in. You're not willing to show up. Anyways, if you made it to this point, I thank you very, very much. I appreciate you more than you know. If you have any questions for me about yourself, a friend, a situationship, or a relationship, you know where to find me. Or maybe you don't, so I'll tell you. JoeyFrancis.com. That's JoeyFrancis.com. And there you can send me a message. You can buy my books. And if you're in this place of change, I honestly believe my guided journal, The Logic of Me, a guided journal for self-discovery, will propel you forward. It will help you immensely. Also, my other book, Fate is Bullshit, A Logical Guide to Happiness, will teach you how to be happy without having somebody, how to accept yourself, and positive ways to put yourself on that journey. And there you can also send me a message. There's a little box there that you can write me a message. You can also send me an email there as well. And in fact, you will find this podcast on other places: YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Anyways, as always, I wish you the most incredible day, week, month, and most definitely year. I want you to start off this new year with clarity, honesty, humility, and better energy. And above all, don't be entitled. Lead with love. Stay amazing. Till next time.